important because it is important. It's the beginning of the season, and you open up the season against what some would say your rival. I mean, it is a rivalry game because they are in the East and they do see each other about 3 or 4 times in the season. But people say it's a rivalry because Angel Reese doesn't like Caitlin Clark and vice versa, and that is far from the truth. I think people just painted that narrative and made it seem like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are at odds and they don't like each other and this, that, and the third. Knock it off, okay? They're good friends behind the scenes and everything. They are competitors on the court when it comes to playing those games. It's going to be a good game. Of course, you know who I'm rooting for. Okay, Caitlin Clark is good, and I take nothing away from her. She is one of the best players in the WNBA. But I put Angel Reese first because, she's got the championship before Caitlin. And, Caitlin Clark, she can shoot her threes and, play in the paint, be dominant, all that stuff. But Caitlin is Caitlin's game, and Angel Reese's game is Angel Reese's game. And you can't really compare the two. So, I think based off of what I saw in preseason, we lost the last preseason game. We went 2-1 overall in the preseason. I think we got better coaching this year. We got better defensive play, better offensive play. So everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. That's all I got to say about that. Everything is going to work out. We're going to let it all work out. All right? But I do predict that the Chicago Sky are going to contend for a championship. I ain't going to say that they're going to be the champion because they still got to get past A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark and Griner, all those females which are playing at a high clip, playing at a high level. So, and you still got to get past the defending champions, the Liberty. I'm not going to sing the commercial. But yeah, got to get past them. And now we're talking about last night. What happened last night? Well, I had an interesting experience. Wasn't planning on going to High Point University versus Wake Forest in High Point. I wasn't planning on it because I didn't know what the ticket prices are. I didn't know where for certain it was going to be at. I didn't even know if it was going to be that day because early in that morning it was raining so hard I didn't think it was going to be no game. Lo and behold, we're on our way to do something. Me, my dad, and Justice on our way to do something with my nephew, checking on him and stuff. And we go and decide to go to the Rockers Stadium, see how much the game is, and lo and behold, somebody came with tickets. 3! And charged us less than what we would have paid for. So, guess who watched the High Point University and Wake Forest game? Me. We lost 7-5, but it sets up it sets up for what I'm about to say because what happened last night. We were up 5-4 going into the 9th inning, and I guess a monster just awoken in us and just was like, you know what? We know that Louisville's a great team. We need to go ahead and bust this thing wide open. So here we go. Top of the 9th. Jacqueline starts it first. Gets on base by being walked. Next batter gets on base by being walked. Then the next batter. Home run. 3-run homer. And then we keep the hits going. It was 9 hits. How ironic was it? 9 hits at the top of the 9th. Poor Louisville, they just couldn't figure it out in the top of the 9th. They couldn't close it out. Which goes to show you baseball is a game of momentum. It doesn't matter if you're ranked. Doesn't matter if you're at the top of the league or if you got a good winning record, because I mean we're 38-18. So it doesn't matter if we have a good record or not. It just all matters if you're going to be able to show up and show out when it matters the most. So that's what it all boils down to. We got game 2 of the series tonight. We can either take the series, or they could tie the series up. Being a real fan of the team that I am going to say that depending on how pitching and everything goes, we will probably end up tying this series. Just depends on how pitching and everything else goes. But yeah, we'll see how that works. Now we get to wrestling, because I want to save the best for last. I want to save the top for last. We got the first match, which was a fatal 4-way for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu, who wasn't too pleased with Solo Sikoa and company coming out during the match. I wouldn't be either, because he had the match well in hand. Just because he was outside getting beat up. I mean, he still was dominating the entire match. He rode the entire match all the way. LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre, they fought their little hearts out, but Jacob Fatu was a force to be reckoned with, and he's a different beast. Lyra Valkyria squeaked by Becky Lynch, and I, for one, am a Becky Lynch fan. I am. But Lila Valkyria is starting to grow on me a little bit. She's starting to grow on me. So, yeah. And Becky Lynch wasn't having that. You know, after the match, attacked her, and she was mad and kind of PO'd about the whole Intercontinental title loss. The women's Intercontinental title loss. Excuse me, let me put that in there. Because right after that match, we had the men's Intercontinental title with Dominic Mysterio and Penta. Dominic Mysterio won that match. Finn Balor almost messed it up, though. Almost messed it up. And I think that they're going to have the Judgment Day turn on each other anyway, because you can kind of feel that Dominic Mysterio is kind of turning into a babyface again. And you can kind of feel that Finn Balor has just solidified that heel spot. So I think that jealousy is going to start to rear its ugly head, and they're going to end up fighting for the title one-on-one, no triple threats, no fatal 4-ways like it was at WrestleMania. They're going to end up fighting each other one-on-one for that title. Gunther beat Pat McAfee with a technical submission, which is the submission hold that he loves to use. Came on Monday Night Raw the next night and said, you know what, whoever wins between you, Jey Uso, and Logan Paul in Saturday night's main event coming up here in a couple of weeks, whoever wins that match, I'm going to challenge that person for the World Heavyweight Championship in a couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw. So, there you have it. Gunther, he beat Pat McAfee just like he said he was going to do. And the last real world champion, John Cena. You can't see him after this year. You can't. Now, I saw something that the leaked reports about who his next opponent is, and I didn't really click on it and stuff, because I know it's sports entertainment, and for you to leak something like that, you're just kind of taking the fun out of everything. You're taking the entertainment factor out of it. It's just like, oh, well, you leaked it, so what's the point of us watching it? You know, that's kind of like spoiling the movie when the movie comes out and you're the only one that hasn't seen the movie. It's like, dude, I wanted to see the movie. Keep your mouth shut until I see the movie. But, yeah, the last time John Cena, Randy Orton, and John Cena, just like how he's, I wouldn't say always, I mean, because Randy's won some, John has won some, but for the most part, John holds more victories over Randy Orton than Randy Orton holds over John Cena. So we closing it out, and after that, R-Truth, wrong place, wrong time. You said the wrong thing. So yeah, just keep your mouth shut next time. That's all I got to say about that. Now we get to the main event. The 2025 Philadelphia Eagles schedule is here. Now, a couple of things I want to say before I break this schedule down. Number one, when you're the champ, everybody is gunning for you. Everybody wants a piece of you, and it is going to be very, very hard for you to try to repeat what you did the season before. Especially with us, we got a new offensive coordinator because our previous offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, has accepted the Saints job as their head coach. And we also don't know how Sirianni and this guy is going to work. Last time we hired within the organization, last time we did that, it didn't work out the year before last. We went to the playoffs, but we got demolished by the Buccaneers. So, you know, it is what it is. We just gotta see. I'm not worried about the defense because the defense is the same. I'm not worried about the players on offense per se because the players on offense are staying the same with the exception of the left tackle because Mekhi Becton is not there anymore. Lane Johnson and them are still there. Cam Jurgens is still there. So that offensive line is still intact somewhat. But we have a new piece there. And we have some new pieces on defense. But I'm not worried about the defense as much as I am the offense because I need to see the schemes that we're playing. I need to see what we're going to do and how we're going to execute it. Now, there's reports saying that we're going to keep everything the same. But when you have Nick Sirianni's hands in something, which I've known from previously before the Super Bowl win, previously before that, the season, when he has his hands in something, it don't work out the way that you want it to work out. So, hey, we'll see. Another thing that I wanted to say about the schedule, NFL, I know you're trying to give us the anticipation factor, but when you leak out 5 or 6 of my games, it takes away from the excitement factor. Okay, opening night. I wanted to know about that. I wanted to know about opening night. I want to know about Thanksgiving night. I want to know about Christmas. Lo and behold, once after they gave us opening night, oh, well, in a few weeks, in week 2, you're going to play Kansas City. Oh, and then in a couple more weeks, you're going to play the Vikings on this day. And then you're going to have a Black Friday game against the Bears. I'm like, dude, what's the 14th for? What's the point of the 14th? You're leaking out all the games on the schedule, all the big games that I'm trying to look forward to. But I digress. Let's go and break this schedule down. Week 1, you heard it earlier when I said it. The Cowboys. We have the Cowboys coming to town. If you look at the history, they have not been that good in Philadelphia. Even when they win, they still haven't been that good. Last season, we beat them twice. Granted, Dak Prescott, and I will give you Cowboys fans this, Dak Prescott didn't play. Cooper Rush played. Cooper Rush is a starter somewhere else. You don't have no excuses this time. Dak Prescott is healthy. Maybe dropping the banner in front of y'all is motivation for y'all. Maybe it's not. I have no idea. You have a new head coach, which was your offensive coordinator from last year. We will see how it goes because I know y'all are very critical. Well, some of the real fans are critical. Some of the delusional fans just like, oh, we don't care. As long as we win it, we're winning. We're going to the Super Bowl. Knock it off. The delusion is real. Knock it off. Okay? But 1-0 to start the season. Sorry. 1-0. I feel confident. Then we just go from being fed to the wolves to being thrown into the fire. Because 40-22, that will be etched in my brain as the loser. I will not forget As you remember, a previous year's matchup before the Super Bowl, when we played them in Kansas City in the regular season, they should have beat us in Kansas City, but they didn't because Scantling, he dropped the ball wide open. He got the defender got beat. I think it was Blankenship or Slay. They got beat, but he dropped the ball, and it was a touchdown pass. But luckily for us, he dropped the ball. And I'm very critical on on my team. I don't just like to barely win. If we're gonna win and beat somebody, we're gonna beat them. Okay. If we lose, I'm gonna be very critical in a loss. There's some Eagles fans out there that just like, oh, you're not a real Eagles fan. You're not a real fan if you can't be honest with your team. If you're the one talking about, oh, we're going back to the Super Bowl and going back to the Super Bowl after week 3, if we're 1-2, and I'm not saying that's what we're going to be, I'm saying this for all the Eagles fans that just are delusional. If you are saying we're going to repeat and go back to the Super Bowl, and we are 1-2 by week 3 and 4, you're delusional. If you can't talk about your team, if it's your team, you could talk about them when they're doing good, and you could talk about them when you're doing bad. That's how I feel. I talk about them either way. If people say, oh, you're not a real fan, you don't know, this, that, and the third, knock it off. I've been a fan since McNabb and Cunningham. Stop. I've been a fan enough to know that before the Super Bowl era, we have 2 championships up under our belt before the Super Bowl era. Yet the NFL don't count those because it's not in the Super Bowl. So now we got 2 championships that are in the Super Bowl era. But I digress. We're going to beat Kansas City. May not be as easy, but we're going to beat Kansas City. Rams, we're going to beat them. They're going to come back for vengeance. And a lot of these teams, we use the tush push or the brotherly shove, whichever one you prefer. All 3 of the teams that I just forementioned, we used it more than once. Except with the exception of the Chiefs. We only used that one time, and they swear up and down, well, that's the reason why Chris Long, no, he had something going on with his neck before we even did that play, because I could tell he was walking gingerly. Bucks, we didn't really have an opportunity to do too much of the brotherly shove in that game. But I do see us being 3-1 by that point. We'll take a loss there. Against the Broncos, 4-1. They get to see us for the first time in 2 years. Giants, Saquon. Run Saquon. Run him to death. Run him up the gut. Run him until his legs just give out. I'm picking. But I said we were gonna be 4-1. That's 5-1. Vikings 6-1. Giants for the second and last time at home, 7-1, and then we headed to the bye week 7-1. Then after the bye week, we go up against a team that wants the brotherly shove banned because they just can't stop it. Meanwhile, on one side in Brazil last year, you stopped it twice because we fumbled the ball or turned it over. You stopped it. Like, you may not have physically tackled Jalen Hurts behind the line to gain, but you stopped it. Nonetheless, if you caused us to fumble, you stopped it. If you caused us to do something that we weren't prepared to do or make us jump off sides, you stopped it before it even began. So, stop. All right. But, I said 7-1. We're going to 8-1. Lions, you want to play us so bad, you get your chance in Philadelphia. 9-1, though, because you're not beating us. In Dallas, depending on it. Okay, I see 2 scenarios here. Depending on if Dak Prescott is healthy, we'll split. But given last season and what we did last season, regardless if he was healthy or not, I'm going to confidently say we're going to sweep the Cowboys this season because I don't think that their head coach is this guy is in over his head. Their draft was good, but it wasn't that good like ours. Howie Roseman did it again. So by that point, we'll be 10-1. I say 11-1 when we get to the Bears and beat them on Black Friday. We'll be 12-1 because we got the Chargers in their place. Yeah, we feel comfortable there too. Raiders will be I said 12-1, 13-1. Washington at their place, 13-2, just off of what happened last season. Bills, I'll give that a loss there because it's hard to play in Buffalo, 13-3. And same record as last season when we won the Super Bowl, 14-3, because we'll beat the Washington Commanders when they come to Philadelphia. So there you have it, folks. It's going to be an uphill climb. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Philadelphia Eagles, but I feel confident enough to say that 14-3 is going to be our record, and we're going to make it. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make things happen that you ain't never seen before. Maybe no more backwards hurdles anymore, but he's advised everybody that's trying to do that. Kids, don't try this at home. And he said it would have been cool if he did a 360, but just didn't work out in his favor. That was strictly momentum, by the way, too. I knew that was strictly momentum because after that play, he kind of tweaked his back a little bit. So, and he had on the LeBron Nikes, the shoes that he made. So, yeah. And LeBron likes it. He loved that play when he did. He's like, one, he did it in my shoes. Two, it was just awesome. That was an awesome play, man. But anyway, I digress. Make sure you subscribe and tune in to the show every Friday, unless specified. Make sure that you go on Isaiah Pfeiffer, the YouTube channel. That's where you can find all the music and everything like that. Make sure you subscribe on TikTok as well. Sorry that my mom was unable to join us on TikTok for this episode, but for the most part, she will be on every episode unless I say, hey, we're not doing the podcast on this day or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna close out in prayer, and I'm gonna release y'all, and we're gonna get on up out of here. Heavenly Father, thank you once again for allowing us to gather in your presence and do this podcast. We pray that this podcast is a blessing to whoever's watching, wherever they may be watching. In Jesus' name I do pray. Amen. I love you all. Take care.